There are a variety of government stimulus payments that people are expecting and they haven't yet gotten. So somebody calling from the IRS saying, oh, we just need to verify your social security number, or we need your driver's license, or we need your bank information so we can get the money wired into your bank with direct deposit. The IRS is never going to call you on the phone.
Welcome to Absolute Trust Talk with your host, Kirsten Howe. Absolute Trust Talk brings you tips, tools, advice, and interviews to help you build a reliable knowledge base on estate planning, business, and finance to start preparing for your future today.
Good morning and welcome to Absolute Trust Talk. This is another Facebook Live version of our podcast here at Absolute Trust Council. And I'm Kirsten Howe. I'm your host today and always. I'm glad you're here today. Today we're going to be talking about some COVID-19 related scams. These scams are, anybody could be the victim of a scam, but senior citizens tend to be the victims much more often. And that is called elder financial abuse. And we take elder financial abuse very seriously at Absolute Trust Council. That's actually I have a soft place in my heart on that topic. I've given many educational presentations on behalf of the State Bar of California to educate seniors in, senior centers and assisted living facilities about what to watch out for and how to keep themselves safe from elder financial abuse. Lots of presentations about scams. So this is a really important topic to me personally and my firm as well. I have clients who've been through this and it's just tragic and terrible. So the more I can do to educate, the better. That's the best defense. Okay, so coronavirus related scams. These are not new scams. They just have this new creative, you got to admire the creativity, coronavirus twist to them all. And I think that layering that on top maybe makes the thieves a little more believable, makes it easier for people to kind of go along with the scam. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. But, last time in April, I did an episode about coronavirus scams. And since then, I'm sure you won't be surprised to hear that lots and lots of new scams have developed. And so that's what I want to share with you. We were talking at that time, one of the things that we talked about was the grandma scam. The grandma gets a phone call from Johnny, her grandson, who's in a panic. This happened to me and I need you to wire me money right away. And grandma does it and then only later pauses to think, well, do I even have a grandson named Johnny? So, people calling up trying to get you to send them money with a story. We saw a lot of that with a coronavirus twist on it. Now, the scams that I'm going to talk to you about, there's a couple of different kinds. Like I said, they're not new. They just put a little coronavirus twist on them. So this environment that we're in, this pandemic has created new markets for goods and services that people really didn't need in the same quantities, or different people need them. And, an obvious example, an easy example of that is face masks, hand sanitizers. Those were not considered office supplies 6 months ago, but now they are. And so, a company like mine, we've got to have our supply of face masks. We've got to have hand sanitizer. When we were first getting ready to reopen the office, we were calling around, searching around on the internet, trying to find these things. It was hard to find them at that time. And so we were buying stuff from people that we didn't know. We usually buy our office supplies from Home Depot or Staples. We couldn't find those things. We had to go to vendors that we didn't know. We got lucky. We were never scammed, but these scams can result in people paying for something that isn't what they wanted or expected. When the product arrives, it's inferior or it doesn't meet the specifications that you need. For example, hand sanitizer. It has to have certain chemicals in it in order for it to be effective in a coronavirus situation. It's not, another kind of hand sanitizer is not good enough. And so you got to be careful that you're going to get the thing that you actually need and want. And some of the scams are just you pay for it and it never comes. And that was their intent the whole time. They set up a random website, they collect all the money, and then they never deliver. So these things happen. I think people, when there's a market that's stressed like that, and people get a little less careful, maybe because they really, really need it, and they're gonna commit and buy something from somebody they don't know. So my best advice there, and this is advice for all walks of life, every aspect of your life, use a credit card. If you're buying something, don't wire money. Don't use one of these apps that accesses your bank account and takes money out of your bank account. Use a credit card. Credit cards have fraud protections built into them. The protection is designed to protect the credit card company, but it also protects you. So if you buy something and it never shows up, or it's obviously not what you wanted and they're not going to give you your money back, you call your credit card company and you tell them, this was fraudulent and I want you to reverse the charges, and they will. If you use an ATM card, if you use money from your bank, that money is gone and your bank isn't going to work nearly as hard to get it back, and you're going to have to do a lot of work to get that money back. But so use a credit card. Always use a credit card. Okay, the second kind of variety of scam that I'm going to share with you, and I have a couple of examples, is of what we would call phishing. So people are making phone calls or sending emails trying to get you to share private financial information with them so that they can take that information and do something bad with it. So maybe they take the information and they go access your bank account and empty it out. Or maybe they take your information and they apply for a credit card in your name and they charge it all the way up and you're stuck. Looks like it's your credit card and you owe these charges. So these phishing scams, we're seeing a couple of interesting COVID-related ones. One is people calling, pretending to be with the IRS or with the United States Treasury or some federal government, inquiring, asking for more information in connection with an economic impact payment. A lot of people are still waiting for some kind of stimulus payment that they're supposed to get, and these economic impact payments, that's one variety. It's a little less well-known maybe than the PPP, Payroll Protection Program, but there are a variety of government stimulus payments that people are expecting and they haven't yet gotten. So somebody calling from the IRS saying, we just need to verify your social security number, or we need your driver's license, or we need your bank information so we can get the money wired into your bank with direct deposit. The IRS is never going to call you on the phone. That's not how they work. If they need information from you, if they need to communicate with you, they're going to send you a letter in the U.S. mail. That's how they work. So if anyone's calling you, asking you for bank information, social security information, anything that you consider personal, private, just don't give it to them, because it's not a real thing. It's not legitimate. The IRS has a spot on their website for you to track the progress of your economic impact payment, and also for you to provide the IRS with updated bank account information, whatever information they need to have. There's a place on the IRS website where you can provide that to them securely through their website. You're not giving it to some random person over the phone. So if that's what you need to do, go to the IRS website and handle it that way. Don't give your private information out over the phone. All right, so the last one, this is crazy. People calling, again, they're phishing, they're calling, trying to get you to give them information. And this time they're not posing as IRS people, but they are posing as contact tracers. So, contact tracers, when somebody has a positive coronavirus test, they get interviewed, they come up with a list of all the people they've been in contact with in the last however many days, and then it's somebody's job, the contact tracer, to call all those people and find out, are you infected? Do you need to get a test? Who did you spend time with in the last few days? So the contact tracer, the fake contact tracer, calls up and they're asking these questions, and you want to cooperate. We all want this pandemic to resolve itself and go away. So you're really likely to participate and help. You want to be helpful. But just bear in mind, the contact tracers, all they want from you is they want to know your own medical situation, Are you sick? Have you been tested? And they want to know the people that you've been around in the last some period of time. They don't need your social security number. They don't need your driver's license number. They certainly don't need your bank number. Nothing. They don't need any of that. So if you have a contact tracer who's trying to get that kind of information from you, they are not legitimate and you need to stop talking. So just keep that in mind. Nobody's going to call you up on the phone and ask you for those pieces of information that you shouldn't be sharing anyway. And you shouldn't be sharing them with anybody that you're not completely familiar with. All right, so these things happen to all of us, but they tend to happen more to seniors. Seniors are a little more maybe trusting, maybe they're not skeptical enough, and also they have money. So they are very attractive targets for con artists and scammers, and we see it a lot. One of the best defenses I'm going to advocate again is to have an up-to-date estate plan where you've created the ability for some friend, family member to step in and help you if people are taking advantage of you. So if you haven't updated your estate plan in a lot of years, call your attorney and get it refresh. Just make sure that it's there and it's going to work to protect you. If you don't have an estate plan or you don't have an attorney, we are happy to help you. Just give us a call. All right, that's all I got. I'm going to look at the questions. Okay, what do you do if you have a parent who really needs to go into an assisted living situation because they cannot safely live at home anymore, but they refuse to move? That is a very difficult situation, and it happens more often than we would like. You can't make somebody do something, even if they have some cognitive impairment. They aren't really capable of handling things on their own. They do still have their individual rights and their liberties, and they can do or live wherever they want. The recourse, really, if you just really can't get them to do what they need to do to be safe, really the only thing you can do is start a conservatorship proceeding in the court, whereby you convince a judge that for their own good, you have to take their rights to make decisions about themselves away from them. And once you are able to do that, then you can make them live where they need to be. But the only real way you can do it is with a conservatorship. If you can't coax them or, persuade them to do the right thing, you're going to have to use some muscle, and that involves going to court. I'm sorry about that. That's an unfortunate situation. Okay, let's see. We have another one. What is the best kind of power of attorney, springing or immediate? Springing or immediate? I didn't say that clearly. This is a classic attorney response. It depends. So there's no blanket answer. There's no correct answer. It depends on the situation. Springing is great. In particular, a lot of my younger clients have springing powers of attorney. They don't want anybody stepping up, getting involved in their affairs unless they actually need it, unless it's been proven that they don't have capacity. As between married couples, we typically use springing powers of attorney. If I'm going to give a power of attorney to my spouse, I'm going to give it as a springing power of attorney because that's just easy. You trust your spouse. You know your spouse isn't going to steal money from you. So maybe I'm overstating that, but I think you get the point. But what we often do is we'll make the spouse's power of attorney springing, and then as to anybody else, agent number 2, it's going to be, the spouse immediate and anybody else springing, meaning anybody else will have to prove that you're incapacitated before they can take over. The springing powers of attorney can be difficult to manage because you have to prove that the person lacks capacity, and sometimes that's difficult. And I've done episodes in the past about that, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. The answer really, though, is just it depends. Just think about what it is you're trying to accomplish and how flexible you need the situation to be. Okay, I have one more question. Oh, okay. What is that IRS website that you were talking about? So I was talking about there's a place where you can go and check on the status of your economic impact payment. So that website is irs.gov/coronavirus/getmypayment. I love that. Get my payment. So you can go there and check on the status of your particular payment. Okay, that's all the questions I have today. So thank you for watching, and I hope you got something out of it. As I said, if you need any help with any of this or anything related to this, go to our website, absolutetrustcouncil.com. You can schedule an appointment. Also, there's a lot of really great resources there. We have a lot of articles. We have a lot of videos, blogs, podcasts. You should be able to find some information on the topic that's worrying you. So go check it out. And I appreciate you being here, and I look forward to connecting with you next time. Thank you so much for listening today. I really appreciate you being here. I am so grateful that you're in my audience, and I hope you also learned something and enjoyed the show. If you like our podcast, be sure to go to iTunes and subscribe. You just type the words Absolute Trust Talk in the search bar on your podcast button on your phone, and our podcast will come up and you'll be able to subscribe there. That subscription helps us with our visibility online, our SEO, and all those kinds of things that I never understand, but I'm told that it's important. So in addition to searching for us on iTunes on your phone, you can also just go to our website and you'll find our podcast there. You'll also find all of our previous episodes. So you go to absolutetrustcouncil.com, click on the podcast tab on our homepage, and you'll see all the topic for all of our previous guests, and you just click on the one you want to listen to. Also, make sure to catch our next episode, which will be out in a month or so after this one, and I know you'll get a lot out of that one too. So I look forward to connecting with you next time.
Thank you for listening to Absolute Trust Talk. If you loved this episode, head on over to iTunes to subscribe and leave us a review. Don't forget to visit our website, absolutetrustcouncil.com, where you can find a host of guidebooks and other tools to help you through the estate planning and estate administration process. If you need help securing your own legacy, then put your absolute trust in us. Give us a call at 925-943-2740 or email us at info@absolutetrustcouncil.com to set up your free consultation today.
This podcast is not meant to take the place of legal advice from an attorney and does not create an attorney-client relationship. If you do have a legal question or issue, please consult with an attorney.